My name is Dicken. I'm here with George Pransky. We've had quite a history together. You know, I was thinking, George, it's been 33 years, and for me, you've been a trainer, you've been a mentor, you've been an inspirational leader in my life, and you've been a friend.
Oh, Dicken, that does something to my heart to say those things. That's very generous of you.
33 years, George, and I was with you at Pransky and Associates for 16 years. So
yeah,
I was just thinking about that, and ever since we met Sid Banks, his message was pretty consistent.
Yeah.
Like I remember talking to Sid once, and he said, Dicken, at one point, hundreds of people were coming to this island looking for me. And I said, how did you deal with that, Sid? And he said, I told them to go home. he said, you can't get wisdom from another person. You can only find it deep within the quiet of your own mind.
Yeah.
Right? And he was so consistent with that. And he says, but you have to find this out for yourself. You can't take anybody's word for it. You have to see that if in the quiet of your mind, this deeper intelligence we're connected to, you have to see if that intelligence doesn't bring you what you need in that moment, either feeling or perception or new thinking, but it brings uplifting and new and fresh. It helps guide us through our life. So here's what I was thinking, George, because that message was, sometimes he said, I get so tired of saying the same thing, look within,
really.
Find a quiet space, there's a nice feeling, and in that feeling is all this intelligence. He says, I've been saying that over and over and over again. It's getting boring, for God's sake. So he had such a good sense of humor. But this, you would think, because I know you and I have had glimpses of what it means to get out of the way and, in a sense, be uplifted or guided.
Yes.
And here's what I was thinking, George. You would think that once we knew that, it'd be a bed of roses.
Yeah. Yeah. You would think that.
You'd think, well, that'll take care of it. Now we know where to look. We know there's an intelligence far greater than our little pea brains.
Yeah.
And all we have to do is relax into this space and it will do its magic.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. If only that were the case.
Yeah, if only that were the case.
Well, Dicken, I wanted to say in response to what you said, that you have been an inspiration for me as well. And I just feel like I just admire the kind of person you are. I mean, I think it's outstanding. In my mind, Dicken is the real deal. So I really have admired you.
Oh, thanks, George.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people who hear about the principles or hear about wisdom thinks it's this sort of easy path to being a great person and having well-being. And I know you and I have talked already, and we've said, we got to keep this really down to earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, to me, learning about wisdom has been more about learning how to walk.
Yeah.
In learning how to walk, you come to depend on your two legs and balance. And at first, there's a lot of stumbling and falling and getting it wrong, if you will, or just having a tough time of it in that sense.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times people put us on a pedestal, George, and they say, well, those guys got their act together. They don't know. We're gaining the benefit of what we've learned because of
Yes.
how much we've stumbled, fallen, taken wrong turns. Sid Banks was constantly having to bang us in the forehead
Yeah.
to help wake us back up. So I wanted to let people know that in this 3-day program we're going to do, we're going to share both the stumbles and the insights we've had that's led us to having greater trust and faith in this inner wisdom.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was thinking would be helpful.
Well, you know, I know that the one thing that you can count on with our, you know, the people that, at least in our world, is resilience.
Yeah.
I really feel like if a person is resilient, that's really the only thing that matters. Because it doesn't matter how many mistakes they make or how many wrong paths they go. If a person's resilient, they'll end up in a good place no matter what. And I think it's reassuring to people to feel that that's all there is. You trust your instincts. You trust your you know your wisdom, and then from there, all you need is resilience, because from there everything else is just trial and error. And you and I know how trial and error is a part of life.
Yeah, it sure is. We've certainly had our trials
Yeah.
and errors.
Yeah, that's true. It's just been a gift to me to do a program with, you know, a person I have such fondness with. It's just, it's really special.
Well, thanks. I think that's one thing that's going to make this training really powerful is
Yeah, it is.
we've been through so much together, and we've ended up with such fondness for each other.
Yeah.
That it's going to really, that's going to come through in our teaching. I know it is, George.
Well, I think it's going to come true in the sense that our fondness for each other is going to pave the way to us getting even closer than we.
Yeah.
You know, if you have that, I mean, we don't have a huge amount that we do together. So our fondness for each other really matters.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does. You know, everything that I have been learning is orienting me in a direction where I have less burden of thought,
Yeah.
which seems to then, that's the resilient part. We get out from underneath our thinking faster than we used to.
Yeah.
We become less burdened. So we're more resilient, and then we keep waking up to these deeper feelings that connect us with each other and with life. And I saw that happen in business.
Yeah.
I see that happening in families and relationships. That wisdom seems to keep moving us when we get out of the way and get unburdened. It keeps moving us in a direction of deeper feelings and more connection and more creativity, more humor, more lightheartedness. And that's what I want to be able to share with people
Yeah.
in this seminar too, George, because I see that in you. Even with all you've been through in the past couple of years, you
Yeah.
keep bouncing back. Talk about resilience. You keep
That's,
bouncing back up to a place of warmth and kindness and caring and connection, and it's really tangible, George.
wow.
Really tangible.
Yeah.
I want that for everybody, don't you? I
Yeah.
mean, to
Absolutely.
discover, I love how you said it, to discover our capacity for resilience so that we become less and less burdened, so we have more and more deeper feeling and then deeper knowing
Yeah.
that comes along with that. Takes care of it for us, gets us off the hook.
Gets us off the hook. Yeah. Well, you know what I want to share with people, Dicken, is uh, hope.
Mm,
In other words, I can't think of anything that has the power of hope as just uh, it's so powerful, and I feel like nobody would say, "Well, I've got enough hope now," or
yeah.
I'm filled up with hope. I think that it's a it's a spiritual gift. It's something that comes through us, uh, and when we feel that hope, it's uplifting to us, and it's amazing how fast we
Mm,
respond to hope. It's so instant.
mm.
So that's what I'd like to
Well,
focus
George,
on.
that's a powerful message for these times
Yeah.
because a lot of people are getting discouraged
Yeah.
and then feel more and more hopeless. And you, as much as anybody I've ever met, taught me about what it means to be discouragement proof,
Yeah.
which is another way of saying hope. So could you say more about, because you more than anyone was able to communicate to people what discouragement proof hope was and how practical that is for going through our life, and especially as when life is a contact sport.
Well, they can. It it's easy to see in children, to
Mm,
see the power of hope in a child, because
mm,
they're so uh, innocent, and they're so hopeful, and they just uh, they just are beacons of hope.
mm,
And that's where I learned so much about hope. is I saw it in a young child, and I think, wow, there's nothing but possibility in their lives.
Yeah.
In their mind,
Yeah.
anything is possible, and everything is possible. And that, in my mind, that's why they're so uh, resilient, and that's why they're so, um,
Mm.
you know, uh, why they're so high spirited, really.
Let me ask you a question, George, because you said just a minute ago that kind of hope is a spiritual gift. What did you mean by that? It's a
What I
spiritual
meant
gift.
is that you can't, it looks like there's no hope
Mm.
in life as we know it. It just seems like everywhere, every direction we look in, it seems like there's no hope there. you know and hope comes in a single moment, in a single feeling. So you're hopeless, and then you have hope, and it has nothing to do with uh, anything other than the the spirit. The
Mm.
hope resides in the spirit.
Mm. Oh, that's beautiful, George.
So if you have uh, a young child, you don't have to teach them hope, because
Mm.
they already know it. But what you have to what you attempted to teach you what you attempted to teach them is it's really don't get your hopes up. That's adult
Yeah.
thing, is a great message for you. Don't get your hopes up.
Don't get your hopes up here.
But they understand that that's not um, a, a valid message, and then they they use uh, they see hope as an inspiration, and as a platform
Mm.
for them. That's why the the younger children the more hope they have, and then as they get so-called practical, it comes at the cost of hope.
The cost of hope.
Yeah.
Mm. That's very interesting that hope comes from a deeper spiritual place.
Yes.
So it's not manufactured by us.
No.
It's
No.
not psychological in that sense, that through willpower we can become hopeful.
No. That's a really good point, Dicken. It's because it's easy to think that uh, hope comes from your personality, or
Yeah.
it comes from uh, the secular world.
So it's coming from a deeper place than someone who is in their personality is sort of
Yeah.
optimistic or trying to be
Yeah.
optimistic. It arises from a deeper place.
Yeah.
I remember one time you saying, no one understands when insight's going to come. But if you're trying to catch a bus, it sure helps if you're at the bus stop.
That's true, isn't it? Yeah. It sure helps if you're at the bus stop.
Yeah. What would you say is the bus stop for hope, for resilience?
Not knowing.
Oh, man.
Not knowing is the bus stop for hope.
Which is often the last place our intellects and ego want to look.
Yeah. And as soon as you get a whiff of the unknown, you'll see hope arising.
Come on. Oh, man. We can do the whole seminar on that alone.
I know.
Yeah. You want people to experience the benefits of getting comfortable being in the unknown.
Yes.
Hope, resilience, discouragement proof.
Well, good.
Yeah. Good.
All right. You take
George,
care.
it's been great. Thanks. Good
Yeah.
being with you, buddy. This is going to be so fun.
This is. Yeah.
Okay. Take care.